First contact. The abandoned Horizon research station hung like a dead satellite against the velvet backdrop of space, its once gleaming solar arrays now dull with cosmic dust. Chief Engineer Maya Torres guided her maintenance shuttle toward the derelict structure, the ship's thrusters pulsing softly in the vacuum. Her dark hair was pulled back in a practical braid, and her brown eyes narrowed as she studied the station's exterior through the viewscreen. Recording maintenance log, Stardate 2189.45, Maya spoke into her comm unit. Initial approach to Horizon Station shows significant exterior degradation. Corporate wants a salvage assessment before demolition next month. She didn't mention that she'd volunteered for this solo mission to escape the chaos back at Proxima Base. After 3 years of working elbow to elbow with other engineers in cramped quarters, solitude was a luxury worth pursuing, even if it meant poking around in an abandoned research station. Maya guided her shuttle, the Persistence, into the station's main docking bay. The magnetic clamps engaged with a satisfying thunk that vibrated through the hull. She completed her docking checklist, then suited up in her EVA gear, a lightweight but sturdy exosuit with Torres emblazoned across the back in bold letters. Atmospheric readings at 15% normal, she muttered, checking her wrist display. At least I won't need full life support. She adjusted her suit to supplement the thin air and cycled through the airlock. The station's interior was a maze of shadowy corridors lit only by the emergency strips that still functioned after all these years. Maya's boots made hollow sounds against the metal flooring as she moved deeper into the structure, her helmet light cutting through the darkness. Initial structural integrity appears sound, she continued her log. No signs of major hull breaches or system failures causing the abandonment. According to the mission brief, Horizon Station had been evacuated suddenly 5 years ago. The official explanation cited budget cuts, but rumors circulated about unexplained phenomena and corporate cover-ups. Maya had dismissed those stories as the typical conspiracy theories that followed any major corporate decision in space. She moved methodically through the station, cataloging salvageable equipment and materials. The research labs were mostly stripped clean, standard procedure during evacuation, but a few expensive items remained, suggesting the departure had been somewhat rushed. 3 hours into her survey, Maya reached the station's central power core, a cavernous chamber dominated by a massive fusion reactor, now cold and silent. Power core offline but intact, she noted, sweeping her light across the machinery. Full extraction possible, estimated value. A sound interrupted her, something between a gasp and a whimper. Maya froze, her light beam fixed on the reactor. "Hello?" she called, her voice echoing in the chamber. "Is someone there?" Protocol dictated that she retreat to her shuttle and call for backup if she encountered anyone. Abandoned stations sometimes attracted smugglers or other unsavory types. But curiosity pulled her forward instead. Another sound, definitely a moan of pain this time. Maya followed it to a small alcove behind the main reactor housing. Her light illuminated a figure huddled against the wall. Not human. Definitely not human. The being's skin was a pale lavender, almost translucent in places. Long, silver-white hair fell around a face that was hauntingly beautiful despite its alien features, high cheekbones, an elongated neck, and large, almond-shaped eyes that reflected her light like a cat's. But what captured Maya's attention was the pulsing light in the center of the being's chest, a device embedded directly into its body that flickered weakly, like a dying star. The alien's eyes focused on Maya, revealing irises of deep violet. A delicate six-fingered hand reached toward her, trembling. "Help," the word came out in perfect English, though the voice had a musical quality unlike any human tone. "My core, failing." Maya's training hadn't covered first contact scenarios, especially not with injured aliens. She hesitated only briefly before kneeling beside the being. "I'm Maya Torres," she said, removing her helmet to show her face. "I'm a human, an engineer. Can you understand me?" The alien nodded weakly. Elara, she responded, touching her chest near the flickering device. My power core is failing. Without it, I will die. Maya scanned the device with her engineering tools. It was like nothing she'd ever seen, a crystalline structure that seemed to be both mechanical and biological, integrated with Elara's body. Energy readings showed it operating at less than 10% capacity. What happened to you? How did you get here? Maya asked, trying to understand the situation while assessing the alien's condition. Escaped, Elara whispered, each word clearly costing her energy. My ship, damaged. Found this station. Hope to repair core using station power, but... She gestured weakly at the dead reactor. Maya's mind raced. The alien's core appeared to be a power source and life support system combined. Its technology was far beyond anything humans had developed, but the basic principles, energy transfer, power regulation, those were universal constants. How long do you have? Maya asked, already digging through her toolkit. Hours. Perhaps less. Elara's eyes dimmed momentarily, the light in her chest flickering dangerously. Maya made a decision that violated at least a dozen protocols. I'm going to try to help you. My shuttle has power. If I can rig a transfer system. For the next hour, Maya worked frantically, running power cables from her shuttle to the chamber, modifying adapters, and constructing a makeshift energy transfer device. Her hands moved with practiced precision despite the unprecedented nature of the task. This was engineering at its most fundamental, solving problems with available resources. Meanwhile, Elara grew weaker, the light in her chest dimming further. She explained between labored breaths that she was a Valoran, from a star system beyond human exploration. Her people had evolved to harness stellar energy directly, their bodies housing special organs that processed and stored this power. Modern Valorans augmented these natural abilities with technological cores like hers. My people would call you reckless, Elara murmured as Maya connected the final circuit. Helping an unknown alien. Maya shrugged. My people would probably agree with yours. But I've never been good at following rules when they don't make sense. She checked her calibrations one final time. This is going to be tricky. Your core operates on principles I don't fully understand. I'm going to start with a minimal charge and increase gradually. If it fails... Elara began. It won't, Maya interrupted, meeting the alien's eyes with determination. I'm very good at my job. She initiated the power transfer. Energy flowed from the shuttle's fusion cells through Maya's jury-rigged apparatus and into Elara's core. For a terrifying moment, nothing happened. Then, gradually, the light in Elara's chest strengthened, its pulsing becoming steadier, stronger. Color returned to Elara's lavender skin, and her eyes brightened. She gasped, her back arching slightly as the energy filled her core. It's working, Maya breathed, monitoring the readings carefully. How do you feel? Alive, Elara answered, wonder in her voice. She placed her six-fingered hand over Maya's on the control panel. You saved me, Maya Torres. The moment their hands touched, Maya felt a strange sensation, a tingling warmth that traveled up her arm and spread throughout her body. For just an instant, she could have sworn she felt Elara's relief and gratitude as if they were her own emotions. The power transfer completed successfully, Elara's core now glowing with a steady, healthy light. Maya disconnected her equipment, satisfied with her work but puzzled by what she'd experienced when they touched. You should rest, Maya said, helping Elara to a more comfortable position. I need to finish my survey, but I'll come back for you. Then we can figure out what to do next. Elara caught Maya's wrist, her touch gentle but insistent. There's something you should know, she said, her violet eyes intense. My presence here isn't accidental. And those who pursue me will not stop. By helping me, you've entangled yourself in something far greater than you realize. Maya looked down at Elara's hand on her wrist, then back to the alien's face. The practical part of her mind screamed that she should return to her shuttle, call for backup, report this encounter through proper channels. But another part, the part that had driven her to become an engineer, to solve problems and explore new frontiers, was already calculating their next move. Well, Maya said with a half smile, I guess it's a good thing I've always been curious about the universe. Tell me everything, and we'll figure it out together. As Elara began her explanation, neither of them noticed the subtle change in Maya's biosignature on her wrist monitor, nor the faint glow that had begun to emanate from beneath her skin wherever Elara had touched her. The connection had already begun, its significance yet to unfold. Power exchange. The soft hum of the Persistence's life support systems provided a comforting backdrop as Maya seated Elara in the shuttle's small common area. The alien woman moved with newfound strength, though Maya noticed she frequently touched the core in her chest, as if reassuring herself it still functioned. Your vessel is efficient, Elara observed, her violet eyes taking in the shuttle's compact design. Utilitarian, yet comfortable. Maya set her diagnostic tablet on the table between them. It's a long-range maintenance vessel. Not fancy, but reliable. She studied the readings from Elara's power core. Your energy levels have stabilized at around 68%. Better than before, but not optimal. Elara nodded, silver-white hair shifting like liquid mercury. The transfer you engineered was impressive, especially considering your limited understanding of my physiology. Few of my own people could have accomplished such a feat without proper equipment. I've always been good at improvising, Maya said with a shrug, though she couldn't help feeling a flush of pride. Now, you promise to explain what you're doing here, and who's pursuing you. Elara's expression grew serious. My people, the Valerans, have existed for millennia. We evolved on a world bathed in the radiation of twin stars, developing the ability to absorb and process stellar energy. She placed a six-fingered hand over her glowing core. These power cores were developed centuries ago, allowing us to store greater amounts of energy and enhancing our natural abilities. So it's a technological augmentation of a biological system, Maya mused. Fascinating. Yes, but more integrated than your words suggest. The core becomes part of us, physically, mentally, even spiritually. Elara's eyes took on a distant look. My people believe energy is the foundation of consciousness itself. Maya leaned forward. And the people chasing you? Something tells me this isn't just about advanced technology. Perceptive, Elara acknowledged. For generations, my people have been divided. The luminaries, who control our government, believe our gifts should remain exclusive to Valerans. They fear sharing our technology would lead to our exploitation or destruction. Not an unreasonable fear, Maya interjected. Perhaps. But there are those of us, we call ourselves the sharers, who believe isolation has stunted our growth as a species. We seek connection with other civilizations, an exchange of knowledge. Elara's core pulsed brighter as she spoke. I was part of a research team developing a new type of core, one that could potentially work with other species' physiologies. Maya's eyes widened. You were trying to share your power technology with other aliens? Yes. The implications for medical science alone are revolutionary. Imagine power sources that could sustain artificial organs indefinitely, or heal injuries by accelerating cellular regeneration. Elara's face fell. But the luminaries discovered our work. They branded us traitors, seized our research, and arrested most of my colleagues. But you escaped, Maya concluded. Barely. I downloaded our research into my personal core and fled in an experimental vessel. They damaged my ship near this system, forcing me to seek refuge here. Elara's eyes met Maya's. They will have tracked my energy signature. It's only a matter of time before they find me. Maya processed this information, her engineer's mind already calculating possibilities and risks. This new core you were developing, is that what you have now? Elara shook her head. No, mine is standard Valeran technology. The prototype was still in development when I fled. She hesitated. However, the research data is stored within my core's memory systems. A warning chime from the diagnostic tablet interrupted them. Maya checked the readings with growing concern. Your power levels are dropping again, she reported. The transfer wasn't sufficient for long-term stability. Elara's face remained calm, though fear flickered in her eyes. My core was damaged during my escape. It cannot maintain charge properly. Maya ran her hands through her hair, thinking rapidly. I could try another transfer, but my shuttle's power reserves are limited. We'd eventually run out. There is another possibility, Elara said carefully. But it involves significant risk to you. I'm listening. Elara moved closer, her voice dropping. When our cores were first developed, they were designed to interact harmoniously with our natural energy systems. In emergencies, Valorans can establish direct energy exchanges, essentially linking our cores to share power. You mean like a transfusion? Maya asked. Similar in concept, but with energy rather than blood. Elara reached out, stopping just short of touching Maya's arm. When our hands connected earlier, did you feel something unusual? Maya recalled the strange tingling sensation, the momentary flash of emotions that weren't her own. Yes. It was like. I could feel what you were feeling. That shouldn't have been possible with a non-Valoran, Elara said, wonder in her voice. Yet it happened. Something about your energy signature is compatible with mine. Are you suggesting we attempt this direct energy exchange? Maya asked, both fascinated and apprehensive. It could provide a more sustainable solution until we can properly repair my core. But, Elara emphasized, the process would create a temporary bioenergetic link between us. The effects on a human are unknown. Maya considered the implications. Every rational part of her training screamed that this was reckless. Establishing an unknown alien energy connection could have countless unforeseen consequences. Yet the engineer in her was captivated by the problem, the possibility. And something else, something she couldn't quite name, drew her toward helping Elara. How would it work? Maya finally asked. Relief washed over Elara's features. I would initiate a controlled energy circuit between us. Your body's electrical field would be temporarily amplified and channeled through my core's regeneration systems, then return to you. Would it hurt? No, though you may experience unusual sensations. Valorans describe it as intense but not unpleasant. Maya took a deep breath. How do we start? First, we should move to somewhere more comfortable. The process takes approximately 1 hour, and we should both be relaxed. They relocated to Maya's small sleeping quarters, sitting cross-legged on her bunk, facing each other. Elara instructed Maya to remove the upper portion of her uniform, leaving her in a simple tank top that allowed access to her chest and arms. Your heart generates the strongest electrical field in your body, Elara explained. I'll need to establish the connection there. Maya swallowed nervously. All right. I'm ready. Elara placed one 6-fingered hand directly over Maya's heart and the other on her own glowing core. Close your eyes. Focus on your breathing. Try to clear your mind. Maya did as instructed, though clearing her mind proved difficult with an alien about to connect their energy fields. She could feel the warmth of Elara's palm against her chest, a gentle pressure that somehow felt both foreign and familiar. I'm beginning the connection, Elara whispered. At first, Maya felt nothing beyond the touch of Elara's hand. Then, gradually, a warmth began to spread from that point of contact, flowing through her chest and outward through her limbs. It wasn't unpleasant, rather like slipping into a hot bath after a long, cold day. The sensation intensified, becoming a gentle current that seemed to flow in rhythm with her heartbeat. Maya's breathing synchronized naturally with the pulse, each breath drawing in more of the strange energy. You're doing well, Elara's voice seemed to come from both outside and inside Maya's head simultaneously. Our fields are aligning. The current strengthened, and Maya gasped as vibrant colors appeared behind her closed eyelids, swirling patterns of purple, blue, and silver that danced and flowed like cosmic nebulae. She could feel Alara's presence now, not just physically but energetically, a brilliant constellation of light and purpose that intertwined with her own energy. Without opening her eyes, Maya somehow knew that Alara's core was glowing brighter, drawing sustenance from their connection while simultaneously amplifying Maya's natural electrical field. The process felt intimate in a way that transcended physical contact. They were sharing something fundamental, elemental. Images began to flash through Maya's consciousness, strange landscapes under twin suns, crystalline cities that captured and refracted light in mesmerizing patterns, beings of light communicating through pulses of energy. Were these Alara's memories? Or something else entirely? Through it all, Maya remained aware of her body, of the shuttle around them, of the steady hum of its systems. But she also experienced an expanded awareness, as if she could perceive dimensions beyond the physical. The process continued, the energy circuit between them growing stronger, more stable. Maya felt no fatigue, only a curious sensation of both giving and receiving simultaneously. After what seemed like both an eternity and no time at all, the flow began to gentle, the colors behind her eyelids gradually fading. Opening the connection was the difficult part. Alara's voice guided her back to normal awareness. Maintaining it now requires minimal effort. You can open your eyes. Maya blinked, the ordinary lighting of her quarters seeming somehow flat after the vibrant colors she'd experienced. Her gaze immediately went to Alara's core, which now shone with a steady, healthy light. It worked, she breathed. Yes. Alara smiled, her hand still resting lightly on Maya's chest. Your energy signature is remarkably compatible. The exchange stabilized much faster than I anticipated. Maya became aware of a subtle connection between them, like an invisible thread linking her heart to Alara's core. It wasn't uncomfortable, just present. I can feel you, she said wonderingly. Not physically, but... Our energy fields remain partially merged, Alara explained. The sensation will fade gradually as we complete the exchange cycle. Maya noticed something unusual on her arms, faint, luminescent patterns tracing along her skin, following the paths of her veins and arteries. The patterns pulsed gently in rhythm with her heartbeat. Is this normal? She asked, holding up her arm. Alara's expression registered surprise. No. Those patterns, they're similar to what young Valorans develop when their natural energy organs mature. She gently traced one of the glowing lines on Maya's forearm. Your body is responding to the energy in ways I didn't anticipate. Is it dangerous? I don't believe so. But it suggests your physiology may have latent compatibility with Valoran energy. Alara's violet eyes studied Maya with new interest. This could explain why you were able to feel my emotions when we first touched. Before Maya could respond, the shuttle's proximity alert began to wail. They both jumped at the sudden intrusion. Maya hurried to the cockpit, Alara close behind. The main display showed 3 vessels approaching the station, sleek, silver craft with distinctive energy signatures unlike any human ships. Luminary vessels, Alara confirmed, her voice tight with fear. They've found me. Maya checked the scanners. They're still at extreme range, but closing fast. ETA approximately 4 hours. She turned to Alara, suddenly aware that their lives were now entangled in ways beyond the energy link they shared. The rational choice would be to sever their connection, return Alara to the station, and flee, save herself from involvement in an alien conflict. But as she looked at Alara, feeling the gentle pulse of their shared energy, Maya knew she'd already made her decision. We need to leave, she said firmly. Now. While we still have time. You understand what this means? Alara asked. By helping me escape, you're involving yourself in our conflict. The luminaries won't distinguish between us. Maya glanced down at the glowing patterns on her skin, then back to Elara. I think I was involved the moment we connected. Besides, she added with a determined smile, I've never been good at abandoning a project before it's finished. She began the shuttle's launch sequence, fingers flying over the controls. We'll need somewhere to hide while we figure out our next move, she continued. I know a place, an old mining outpost in the Ceres belt. It's off most official charts. As the Persistence disengaged from the station's docking clamps, Maya felt Elara's gratitude and relief through their connection, along with something deeper, a sense of wonder at the unexpected bond between them. You are an extraordinary human, Maya Torres, Elara said softly. Maya smiled as she guided the shuttle away from the station, setting course for the asteroid belt. And you're just beginning to see what humans are capable of. The subtle glow beneath Maya's skin pulsed in harmony with Elara's core as the shuttle accelerated into the darkness, leaving the abandoned station behind, and with it, any chance of returning to the life Maya had known before. Pursued. The Persistence hurtled through the void, engines straining as Maya pushed the maintenance vessel well beyond its recommended output. The starfield outside the viewports stretched into streaks of light as they maintained maximum acceleration toward the Ceres belt. How's our lead? Elara asked, her slender fingers dancing across the navigation console. Despite having no experience with human technology, she had quickly adapted to the shuttle's systems, another unexpected benefit of their energy connection. Maya checked the sensor readings. Holding at about 3 hours. Those luminary ships are fast, but they're maintaining formation instead of splitting up to cut us off. She frowned. That's tactically inefficient. Elara's expression darkened. They're not concerned about efficiency because they're confident of success. The luminaries have tracking technology specifically calibrated to my core's energy signature. Like a beacon, Maya muttered. Can we mask it somehow? Not completely. But our connection has already altered my signature somewhat. Elara gestured to the faint luminescent patterns still visible on Maya's skin. That may confuse their tracking systems temporarily. The shuttle shuddered as Maya executed a series of evasive maneuvers, weaving through a field of stellar debris to further complicate their pursuers' tracking. The mining outpost is about 6 hours away at our current speed, Maya said. We need to buy more time. She studied the star charts, looking for options. There's a neutron star about 40 minutes off our course. The radiation would mask our signatures, but it would also damage your vessel's systems and potentially harm you, Elara finished. My physiology could withstand the radiation, but yours cannot. Maya nodded grimly. We need another option. For the next hour, they worked together to formulate a plan, their connection allowing them to communicate with increasing efficiency. Sometimes Elara seemed to understand Maya's ideas before she fully articulated them, and vice versa. It was unnerving but undeniably useful. There, Maya finally said, pointing to a sector on the chart. A commercial shipping lane. Heavy traffic, multiple energy signatures. We could lose ourselves among the other vessels, Elara agreed. But wouldn't your authorities question an unauthorized maintenance shuttle in a shipping lane? Maya grinned. That's the beauty of it, I have full authorization codes. The Persistence is scheduled for routine maintenance runs throughout this sector. We'll look completely legitimate. She altered their course, heading for the shipping lane. As they traveled, Maya became increasingly aware of subtle changes in her perception. Her vision seemed sharper, colors more vibrant. She could detect minute variations in the shuttle's engine harmonics that normally would have required diagnostic equipment. The energy exchange is enhancing your natural senses, Elara explained when Maya mentioned these changes. Your nervous system is becoming more efficient at processing information. Is it permanent? Maya asked, both fascinated and concerned. I don't know, Elara admitted. This connection between us is unprecedented. A human and a Valeran have never exchanged energy in this manner before. Maya considered this as she monitored their approach to the shipping lane. You said earlier that your people believe energy is the foundation of consciousness. What exactly does that mean? Ilara's violet eyes took on a contemplative look. We believe that consciousness isn't merely a product of brain function, but a fundamental property of energy itself. Our cores don't just power our bodies, they enhance our awareness, our connection to the universe around us. Like a form of technological enlightenment. Similar, though we see it as revealing what was always there, rather than creating something new. Ilara touched her glowing core. When young Valorans receive their first cores, they describe experiencing reality on multiple levels simultaneously, physical, energetic, even what you might call spiritual. Maya thought about the swirling colors and expanded awareness she'd experienced during their energy exchange. I think I understand. It's like seeing the code behind reality. Ilara smiled. An apt analogy for an engineer. The proximity alert chimed, indicating they were approaching the shipping lane. Maya activated their transponder, broadcasting the shuttle's authorized identification codes. Ahead, the sensors detected dozens of vessels, everything from massive cargo haulers to small courier ships, all moving along established routes between Earth, Mars, and the outer colonies. Entering shipping lane in 30 seconds, Maya announced. Once we're in, we'll adjust our speed to match the commercial traffic and work our way toward the center of the flow. The more ships around us, the harder will be to isolate. Ilara nodded, but her attention had shifted to the sensor display. Maya, look at this. The screen showed an unusual energy fluctuation emanating from the nearest luminary vessel. They're scanning the lane, Ilara said, voice tense. Preparing to broadcast some kind of signal. Targeting us? No, something broader. Ilara's hands moved rapidly over the console. I recognize this pattern. It's a resonance pulse designed to trigger a response from Valoran technology. Maya understood immediately. They're going to force your core to react and reveal our position. Yes. When the pulse hits, my core will automatically respond, a safety feature designed to help locate lost Valorans. Ilara's face was grim. I can't prevent the response. Maya's mind raced. They were seconds away from entering the shipping lane, but if Ilara's core responded to the pulse, they'd be identified immediately. What if we used our connection? Maya suggested suddenly. Channel your core's response through me instead of broadcasting it externally. Ilara looked startled. That would require deepening our link significantly. The effects on you could be. We don't have time to debate, Maya interrupted, checking the sensor readings. The pulse will reach us in less than 2 minutes. Can it work? After a moment's hesitation, Ilara nodded. Theoretically, yes. But you need to understand, this would create a much more profound connection than before. Elements of my consciousness might transfer to you temporarily. Do it, Maya said firmly, setting the shuttle on autopilot. Tell me what to do. They moved quickly to the shuttle's small living quarters. This time, there was no carefully planned preparation. Ilara placed both hands directly on Maya's chest, over her heart. Focus on our existing connection, she instructed. Visualize it strengthening, widening. Maya closed her eyes, concentrating on the subtle energy link she could still feel between them. The luminescent patterns on her skin brightened, pulsing more rapidly. The pulse is approaching, Ilara whispered. 10 seconds. Maya felt the connection between them intensify, like a dam breaking. Energy rushed from Ilara into her, far more potent than during their first exchange. Her body seemed to vibrate at a cellular level, every nerve ending alight with sensation. 5 seconds, Ilara's voice seemed to come from both outside and inside Maya's mind simultaneously. The glowing patterns on Maya's skin expanded, covering more of her body. She could feel something shifting within her, as if her consciousness was being reconfigured to accommodate new information, new ways of perceiving. Now, Ilara breathed. A wave of energy washed over them, the luminary pulse, invisible but tangible to their heightened senses. Maya felt Alara's core respond, its energy signature pulsing in a specific pattern. But instead of broadcasting outward, the response channeled through their connection and into Maya, who absorbed it like a lightning rod grounds electricity. For one breathtaking moment, Maya experienced Alara's consciousness directly, memories, emotions, knowledge flowing between them unfiltered. She saw Alara's homeworld through Alara's eyes, felt the exhilaration of her first flight among the stars, witnessed the pain of betrayal when the luminaries turned on her research team. The experiences washed through her in an instant, both overwhelming and strangely natural, as if she'd always had access to these memories but had simply forgotten them until now. Then it was over. The pulse passed, Alara's core settled, and the intensity of their connection returned to a manageable level. Maya opened her eyes, blinking as her vision adjusted. The world seemed different somehow, sharper, more vibrant, with subtle energy patterns visible around objects that had never been apparent before. "Did it work?" she asked, her voice hoarse. Alara was monitoring a small device she'd removed from her pocket, some kind of Valoran scanner. "Yes." The pulse detected no response in this vicinity. "They'll assume I'm not here." Maya stood, steadying herself against the wall as a wave of dizziness passed through her. "Good. We should get back to the bridge." As they returned to their stations, Maya was acutely aware of the changes within her. Beyond the physical sensations and enhanced perception, there was something else, a presence in her mind, distinct from her own consciousness but not intrusive. Alara's essence, or at least echoes of it, now resided within her. "I can feel you," she said quietly as they reached the bridge. "Not just our energy connection, but your thoughts, memories." Alara nodded. "The deepened link transferred aspects of my consciousness to you. It should fade gradually as our connection normalizes." "Should?" Maya raised an eyebrow. "As I said, this is unprecedented." Alara's expression was apologetic but also curious. "Are you experiencing any discomfort?" Maya considered the question. "No discomfort, just expansion. Like my mind has been upgraded to process more information simultaneously." She checked the shuttle's position. They had successfully integrated into the shipping lane, surrounded by commercial vessels. "Our plan is working. The luminary ships are maintaining distance from the lane. They'll be reluctant to interfere with human commercial traffic," Alara agreed. "Diplomatic incidents complicate their mission. Still, we should maximize our advantage." Maya plotted a course that would keep them within the shipping lane as long as possible while progressing toward the mining outpost. "We have about 4 hours in this lane before we need to break off toward Ceres." As they traveled, Maya found herself instinctively making adjustments to the shuttle's systems, optimizing them in ways she'd never considered before. Knowledge from Alara's consciousness guided her hands, suggesting improvements to power distribution, sensor calibration, even life support efficiency. "This is remarkable," she murmured as she completed a recalibration that increased engine output by 7% while reducing power consumption. "I understand systems I've never even studied." "Your engineer's mind provides the framework," Alara explained. "My technical knowledge merely fills in gaps. Together, we're creating new approaches neither of us would have conceived independently." The implications were staggering. If this temporary connection could produce such innovations, what might be possible with more time, more intention? The potential for advancement through such human-Valoran collaborations seemed limitless. 3 hours into their journey through the shipping lane, the shuttle's long-range scanners detected a new development. The luminary vessels had split up, 2 continuing to follow the shipping lane from a distance, while the third had disappeared from sensors entirely. "That's concerning," Maya said, running a diagnostic on the scanners to ensure they weren't malfunctioning. "Where did the third ship go?" Alara studied the sensor data, her expression grim. "They're employing a stealth approach. The third vessel likely has a phase shift capability that renders it temporarily undetectable to conventional sensors." You're saying they could be right on top of us and we wouldn't know it? Not exactly. The phase shift has limitations, it can't be maintained for long periods, and the ship can't use weapons or communications while shifted. Maya considered their options. We're scheduled to leave the shipping lane in 53 minutes. That's when we'll be most vulnerable. We should assume they'll be waiting for us, Elara agreed. Through their connection, ideas flowed between them with increasing speed and clarity. Maya found herself considering possibilities that would never have occurred to her before, applying principles of Valoran technology to the shuttle systems in ways that shouldn't have been possible with human equipment. What if we modified the shuttle's EM field, she suggested, the concept seeming to materialize fully formed in her mind. Create a distortion pattern similar to a Valoran cloaking mechanism. Elara looked surprised, then thoughtful. Using my core as a template for the field modulation. It could work, at least temporarily. But we'd need to route power from multiple systems. Life support can run on reserves for 6 hours, Maya said, already moving to the engineering access panel. And we can redirect power from the secondary thrusters. They worked in perfect synchronicity, Maya's hands carrying out modifications that blended human engineering with Valoran principles. The luminescent patterns on her skin brightened whenever she touched components, as if her body were becoming an interface between the two technologies. 40 minutes later, their modifications were complete. Maya activated the new system, and the shuttle's electromagnetic field shifted, adopting a complex modulation pattern based on Elara's core signature. How will this help exactly? Maya asked as they returned to the bridge. It won't make us invisible, Elara explained, but it will make us appear as a different kind of vessel, essentially masking our energy signature with noise that will confuse their targeting systems. Maya nodded. Enough to get us past their ambush point. As they approached the coordinates where they would leave the shipping lane, tension filled the bridge. The commercial traffic had thinned, leaving them increasingly exposed. Maya's enhanced perception detected subtle distortions in space ahead, almost imperceptible warping effects that normal human senses would never have noticed. There, she pointed. About 20,000 kilometers off our projected course. The phase-shifted vessel. Elara confirmed the observation. You're right. Your perceptual abilities have advanced considerably. Will our modifications hold against their sensors? We're about to find out. Maya altered their course slightly, creating the impression they were following standard exit procedures from the shipping lane while actually preparing for a high-energy burn in an unexpected direction. Her fingers hovered over the controls, waiting for the perfect moment. Their phase shift is destabilizing, Elara reported, monitoring the subtle distortions. They're preparing to rematerialize and intercept. Now. Maya engaged the main engines at full power, simultaneously cutting power to their modified EM field to provide maximum thrust. The Persistence leapt forward, changing course abruptly and accelerating toward a dense field of asteroidal debris at the edge of the Ceres belt. Behind them, the luminary vessel rematerialized, momentarily confused by their absence from the expected coordinates. By the time it adjusted course to pursue, the Persistence had gained significant distance. We have approximately 12 minutes before they're in weapons range, Elara calculated. The debris field will provide some cover, but... A violent impact rocked the shuttle, throwing them both against their restraints. Warning lights flashed across every console. What was that? Maya demanded, checking the damage reports. They shouldn't be in range yet. Elara's expression was grim. Not a weapon, a resonance torpedo. It doesn't need to hit us directly. It creates an energy disruption field that. Another impact, stronger than the first, sent cascading failures through the shuttle systems. The main engine sputtered and died, leaving them drifting toward the debris field with only maneuvering thrusters operational. They're disabling us without destroying us, Elara said, frantically working to reroute power to critical systems. They want to capture us intact. Maya's mind raced through possibilities, drawing on both her own knowledge and the Valoran insights now integrated with her consciousness. A plan formed, desperate, potentially dangerous, but their only option. The debris field, she said, using the maneuvering thrusters to adjust their trajectory. If we can reach it before they catch us, we might have a chance. The shuttle could be destroyed by impacts, Elara warned. Better than captured, Maya replied grimly. Besides, I'm not planning to collide with anything. Through their connection, she shared her plan without words, a complex sequence involving the shuttle's remaining power, Elara's core, and the unique properties of the carbonaceous asteroids that dominated this region of the belt. Elara's eyes widened. That's extremely risky. The power requirements alone would require our connection to be channeled through the shuttle systems, Maya finished. I know. But if it works. They looked at each other, the decision passing between them in an instant of shared understanding. Without further discussion, they began preparations, working against the countdown to their pursuer's arrival. The luminescent patterns on Maya's skin brightened to an almost blinding intensity as they integrated their connection into the shuttle's power grid. Elara's core pulsed in rhythm with Maya's heartbeat, both now linked to the Persistence's failing systems. Behind them, the luminary vessel closed the distance, preparing another resonance torpedo to complete their disablement. Ready? Maya asked, her hand poised over the activation control. Elara nodded, her violet eyes meeting Maya's with absolute trust. Together. Maya engaged the system, and energy surged between them, through them, and into the shuttle itself. The Persistence shuddered, then accelerated suddenly toward the debris field, trailing a wake of brilliant energy that resembled nothing any human vessel had ever produced. The pursuing luminary ship hesitated, its sensors undoubtedly confused by the unprecedented energy signature now emanating from their target. That moment of hesitation was all they needed. The Persistence plunged into the debris field, leaving their pursuers with an impossible choice: follow them into danger or lose them entirely. As asteroid fragments tumbled around them, Maya guided the shuttle with intuition beyond normal human capability, their shared consciousness creating a new kind of pilot, one who could perceive energy flows, gravitational eddies, and spatial distortions that no conventional sensors could detect. It's working, Elara whispered, her voice filled with wonder as they wove through the debris with impossible precision. They're falling behind. Maya nodded, her focus absolute, her awareness expanded to encompass the shuttle as if it were an extension of her own body. Through their connection, she and Elara had become something entirely new, neither fully human nor fully Valoran, but a synergy that transcended both. As they emerged from the far side of the debris field, the mining outpost came into view, a collection of modular structures anchored to a massive asteroid, long abandoned but still intact. Their sanctuary, at least temporarily. Maya guided the shuttle toward the outpost's main docking bay, their pursuers nowhere in sensor range. The immediate danger had passed, but both knew this was merely the first confrontation in what promised to be a long struggle. As the Persistence settled into the docking bay, the energy loop between them gradually subsided to manageable levels. Maya slumped in her seat, suddenly exhausted. That was. She began, struggling to find words to describe what they'd just experienced. Revolutionary, Elara finished, equally drained but eyes bright with excitement. What we just did, the interface we created between human technology, Valoran energy, and our connected consciousness, it's exactly what my research team was working toward, but we never achieved it. Maya looked down at her hands, the luminescent patterns now a permanent part of her skin. We've created something new, haven't we? Something that changes everything. Elara nodded solemnly. The luminaries were right to fear this possibility, though not for the reasons they believed. This connection between us, it represents a future where the boundaries between species, between consciousness and technology, become fluid, adaptable. And that terrifies them, Maya concluded. Yes. But it also offers hope to countless beings across the galaxy. Elara reached across the console, taking Maya's hand in hers. The question now is what we do with this discovery. Maya squeezed Elara's hand, feeling their energies harmonize once more. First, we repair the shuttle. Then we figure out how to share this with others who could benefit, without getting captured or killed in the process. As they began powering down the shuttle's remaining systems, Maya knew with absolute certainty that her life had been permanently altered. Whatever came next, she and Elara were now bound together by something more profound than either of them had imagined possible, a connection that might ultimately change the course of human and Valoran history alike.